The bright lights above her blurred as the anesthesia took hold. The last thing she saw before her vision faded was Dr. Reed's reassuring face. When she woke up, everything was a hazy mix of white walls and soft murmurs. Harper. Her eyes fluttered open to see Sophie hovering over her. "The surgery went well," Sophie said, relief flooding her voice. "You're going to be okay." A familiar voice cut in. "I told you she would be." Harper turned her head and found him. Dr. Reed stood beside her bed. His arms crossed, an unreadable expression on his face. For some reason, the sight of him eased the last remnants of fear inside her. "Thank you," she murmured. He nodded. "You'll need time to heal, but you'll be just fine." Sophie leaned in, grinning. "You won't believe what I found out while you were out cold." Harper frowned. "What?" Sophie smirked. "Dr. Reed isn't just a doctor. He's a millionaire." Harper's groggy mind struggled to process the words. "What?" Dr. Reed sighed. "Sophie, seriously." Sophie ignored him. His father was a billionaire businessman, but instead of taking over the family empire, he chose medicine. He's one of the youngest and wealthiest surgeons in the country. Harper's mouth went dry. He was a millionaire, and still chose to be a doctor. Why would someone with that kind of wealth choose such a stressful career? Dr. Reed shrugged. "Money doesn't heal people. Medicine does." Harper stared at him, a strange warmth spreading through her chest. For the first time in years she felt safe. But something told her this wasn't the end of their story. It was just the beginning. Harper wasn't sure what felt stranger, the dull ache in her abdomen from the surgery or the way Dr. Alexander Reed kept lingering in her mind. It had been a week since the procedure, and she was recovering well. Sophie had been right. Dr. Reed wasn't just any doctor. He was a millionaire. After that shocking revelation, she had Googled him. There were dozens of articles about him. The billionaire surgeon who turned down luxury for a white coat. Youngest chief gynecologist in the country. Why did he choose medicine over millions? Harper had read them all, fascinated. Despite his wealth, he didn't flaunt it. Instead of fancy cars or extravagant vacations, his focus was on his work, his patients, his hospital, and for some reason that made him even more intimidating. She had spent years avoiding doctors, but now she couldn't stop thinking about this one. Then one afternoon her phone rang. Unknown number. Hesitating, she picked up. Harper Jennings. Her breath caught. That voice. "Yes. This is Dr. Reed." Her stomach flipped. "I wanted to check on you," he said. "I know post-op recovery can be rough." Harper swallowed. Was this normal? Did surgeons personally call their patients? I'm doing fine," she stammered. A short silence. Good." His voice was softer now. "But you should still come in for a follow-up next week." Harper bit her lip. "I'll be there. See you soon then." The call ended. Harper stared at her phone, heart pounding. What was happening? As Harper stood to leave, Dr. Reed suddenly said, "Harper, wait." He turned, surprised. "There's a charity gala this weekend," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "It's for a women's health foundation. I was wondering if you'd like to come." Her jaw dropped. "Me?" He smirked. "Yes, you." She blinked. "Why?" He hesitated, then said simply, "Because I want you to." A slow warmth spread through her chest. Against every bit of logic, she found herself nodding. "I'll go." And as she walked out of his office, she had no idea that this night would change everything. The day of the gala arrived faster than Harper expected. She stood in front of her small mirror, smoothing down the emerald green dress Sophie had forced her to buy. "You look stunning," Sophie gushed. "He won't take his eyes off you." Harper rolled her eyes, but her heart raced. Was this a mistake? Why had Dr. Reed invited her? She was just a former. As the night continued, Harper noticed how people gravitated toward him. Billionaires, surgeons, celebrities. And yet, he kept looking at her. But just as she started to believe this night was perfect, A man in an expensive suit stepped in front of them. "Alexander," the man said coldly. "Didn't think you'd show up." Dr. Reed's jaw clenched. "Father," he said stiffly. Harper froze. His father. Still pretending to be a doctor. His father sneered. "You were meant to run the family empire, not waste your time on charity cases." Harper's chest tightened. Dr. Reed's entire demeanor changed. His hands clenched, his shoulders tensed. "This isn't the time or place," Dr. Reed said calmly. His father scoffed. "You could have been a CEO. Instead, you bury yourself in hospitals, fixing women who can't even afford your time." Harper flinched. Dr. Reed stepped forward. "Don't talk about my patients that way." His father's gaze flickered to Harper. "Ah," he smirked. "And let me guess, she's another one of your charity cases?" Harper's face burned with humiliation. Dr. Reed's expression darkened. "She's not just a patient," he said. His voice was dangerously low. His father laughed, shaking his head. "You're a fool, Alexander." And with that he walked away. Harper felt like she couldn't breathe. "Harper," Dr. Reed said, turning to her. But she stepped back. "I shouldn't be here," she whispered. "Wait," he said, reaching for her hand. But she pulled away. And then she ran. Patient, nothing more. Yet, deep down, a part of her hoped it meant something. When she arrived at the grand ballroom, she felt utterly out of place. Glittering chandeliers, elegant gowns, powerful people. This was his world, not hers. Then she saw him. Dr. Alexander Reed stood near the stage, dressed in a crisp black tuxedo. And when his eyes found her, she forgot how to breathe. He made his way toward her, his gaze never leaving hers. "You came," he said, his voice softer than usual. "You invited me," she murmured, trying to steady her nerves. Before she could say more, a voice called out, "Dr. Reed." A blonde woman approached, draping her arm through his. Harper's stomach twisted. "This must be your date," the woman said, eyeing Harper curiously. Harper opened her mouth to protest, but Dr. Reed beat her to it. "Yes," he said, his voice firm. Harper's eyes widened. "What?" The blonde woman smirked. "Interesting." She walked away, and Harper turned to him, shocked. "Your date," she whispered. Dr. Reed smirked. "Would you rather I call you my former patient?" Her cheeks burned. "Why did you really invite me?" she asked. He exhaled, his expression turning serious. "Because you remind me of what matters." Her heart skipped a beat. That night, Harper sat alone in her apartment, staring at her phone. Dr. Reed had texted. "Alexander, I'm sorry about tonight. Alexander, please let me explain." Her heart ached. Why did it hurt so much? She was just a former patient, a nobody in his world. But then why had he defended her? Why had he looked at her like she mattered? Before she could overthink it, she picked up her phone and texted back. "Harper, meet me tomorrow. No hospitals. No charity galas. Just us." Seconds later, her phone buzzed. "Alexander. Tell me where and I'll be there." Her heart pounded. Because she knew, this meeting could change everything. Harper sat at a quiet cafe the next afternoon. Her fingers wrapped around a warm cup of tea. She had barely slept, torn between curiosity and fear. What if she was reading too much into this? What if Dr. Reed had just been kind? But then he walked in. Dressed casually in a fitted sweater and dark jeans. He looked different. Less like a surgeon. More like a man. A very dangerous man because he made her heart race. He spotted her instantly and made his way over. "You came," he said, sliding into the seat across from her. "You said you'd explain," Harper replied, keeping her voice steady. A flicker of something, pain, crossed his face. For a moment, he just looked at her like he was debating how much to reveal. Then he exhaled. "My father wasn't lying last night," he admitted. "I was supposed to take over our family empire. $1 billion hotels, businesses, investments. That was my future. Harper blinked. So why didn't you? Dr. Reed leaned forward. Because money couldn't save my sister. Her breath caught. She was sick for a long time, he continued. My father thought throwing money at hospitals would be enough. But no amount of money could have stopped what happened. And when she died, he paused, his jaw tightening. I knew I couldn't live in a world where I just signed checks. I needed to do something. Harper swallowed hard. So you became a doctor, she whispered. He nodded. And my father never forgave me. She looked down at her tea, heart aching for him. That night at the gala, she said slowly. When he insulted me, why did you defend me? A muscle in his jaw twitched. Because you're not just a former patient, he said softly. And I won't let anyone, especially him, make you feel like you're less than what you are. Her breath hitched. Because the way he was looking at her now, like she was the only thing that mattered. Silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken words. Harper's heart pounded. This was dangerous. This was reckless. But before she could stop herself, she whispered, I should go. She stood up, but as she moved past him, his fingers brushed her wrist. Harper, he murmured. And when she turned, he kissed her. Soft at first, like he was giving her a chance to pull away. But when she didn't, when she melted into him, his grip tightened. His lips pressing hungrily against hers. The world faded. The noise. The fear. It was just him. Just them. When they finally broke apart, Harper's head was spinning. Dr. Reed exhaled. His forehead resting against hers. I wasn't supposed to do that, he admitted. She swallowed. Then why did you? His eyes burned into hers. Because I can't stop thinking about you. Her heart stuttered. Neither of them spoke. Then softly she whispered, Me neither. And just like that everything changed. The next few days felt like a dream. Secret coffee dates. Long stolen conversations. Touches that lingered too long. But dreams always end. One morning, Harper woke up to dozens of messages on her phone. And the first thing she saw stole the air from her lungs. Breaking news. Billionaire surgeon Dr. Alexander Reed spotted kissing mystery woman. Who is she? Her blood ran cold. And then her phone rang. It was him. Harper. Dr. Reed's voice was urgent. I need you to listen to me. Whatever happens next, don't be afraid. Her hands shook. Because something told her. This was just the beginning. Harper's heart pounded as she stared at the article on her phone. Billionaire surgeon Dr. Alexander Reed spotted kissing mystery woman. Who is she? Her picture was everywhere. The headline made it sound scandalous, as if she were some kind of gold digger trying to trap a wealthy man. And the comments. Her breath hitched as she scrolled through them. She must be after his money. Another nobody trying to climb the social ladder. Dr. Reed deserves better. A lump formed in her throat. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about him too. Before she could process it, her phone buzzed. Alexander. Harper, he said the moment she answered. Are you okay? She tried to steady her voice. I don't know. I'm coming over. No, she said quickly. If people see you here, it'll get worse. Silence. Then his voice dropped. Then come to me. Harper hesitated as she stood outside Alexander's penthouse. This was a mistake. But when he opened the door, all her fears faded. His hair was messier than usual. His sleeves rolled up. He looked tired, but when he saw her, his expression softened. Without a word, he pulled her inside and wrapped his arms around her. She buried her face in his chest, breathing him in. They won't leave me alone, she whispered. His hands tightened around her. I won't let them hurt you. She looked up at him. But what if this ruins your reputation? His gaze darkened. I don't care about my reputation. I care about you. Her heart twisted. How had she gone from his patient to his everything? Before she could answer, a sharp knock interrupted them. Alexander's expression hardened. "Ignore it," he said. But the knocking continued. "Alexander Reed," a voice called from the other side. "This is a matter of family business." Harper froze. A voice. It was his father. Alexander opened the door, his face blank. His father, Richard Reed, stepped inside without permission. His cold, assessing gaze landed on Harper. "So," Richard said, "you're the girl causing all this trouble." Harper's stomach twisted. "She's not the problem," Alexander said sharply. "You are." His father scoffed. "I warned you, Alexander. A man of your status doesn't get involved with." "Careful," Alexander cut him off, his voice lethal. Richard smirked. "This won't end well for her, you know. The media will eat her alive. If you care about her, you'll let her go." Harper's breath caught. Alexander's body was rigid with anger. "Get out," he said coldly. His father's eyes glinted with amusement. "You'll regret this." And then he was gone. The moment the door shut, Harper whispered, "What if he's right?" Alexander turned to her, his expression fierce. "I don't care what it takes, Harper. I'm not letting you go." She wanted to believe him, but deep down she was terrified. Because love wasn't always enough. For the next few days, things only got worse. Paparazzi followed her everywhere. Her workplace was flooded with reporters. Strangers whispered when they saw her. And then, she lost her job. Her boss called her in and sighed. "Harper, we can't handle the attention. I have to let you go." Her world shattered. She walked out feeling numb. And when she finally answered Alexander's calls, her voice broke. "I lost my job because of this," she whispered. Silence. "Come to me," he said. "We'll figure this out together." Tears burned her eyes. "Alexander, I don't know if I can do this." But when she heard his voice, firm and unshaken, she knew she wasn't alone. "You don't have to do this alone, Harper," he said. "Because I'm right here. And I'm not going anywhere." Her heart ached. Maybe love wasn't always easy. But maybe, just maybe, it was worth fighting for. For the next few days, things only got worse. Paparazzi followed her everywhere. Her workplace was flooded with reporters. Strangers whispered when they saw her. And then, she lost her job. Her boss called her in and sighed. "Harper, we can't handle the attention. I have to let you go." Her world shattered. She walked out feeling numb. And when she finally answered Alexander's calls, her voice broke. "I lost my job because of this," she whispered. Silence. "Come to me," he said. "We'll figure this out together." Tears burned her eyes. "Alexander, I don't know if I can do this." But when she heard his voice, firm and unshaken, she knew she wasn't alone. "You don't have to do this alone, Harper," he said. "Because I'm right here. And I'm not going anywhere." Her heart ached. Maybe love wasn't always easy. But maybe, just maybe, it was worth fighting for. Harper sat alone in her small apartment, staring at the eviction notice in her hands. It had been just a week since the scandal broke. A week since her world fell apart. She had lost her job. The media wouldn't leave her alone. And now she was losing her home. Her phone buzzed again. Alexander. She couldn't answer. Not because she didn't want to, but because deep down she was scared. Scared that staying with him would only bring more pain. Scared that she wasn't strong enough to survive in his world. And so, she made a decision. She packed her bags. Alexander stormed into his father's office. His patience gone. "Where is she?" he demanded. Richard Reed leaned back in his chair, a smug smile on his face. "I warned you, son," he said lazily. "She wasn't strong enough for this life. She did the right thing by walking away." Alexander's hands clenched into fists. "You had something to do with this." His father sighed. "You'll thank me one day." Alexander turned on his heel and left. He wouldn't stop until he found her. Because Harper wasn't just another woman. She was his. And he wasn't about to let her go. Harper sat at a quiet diner in a small town, far from the chaos of the city. She had left everything behind. But no matter how far she ran, she couldn't escape him. Because every time she closed her eyes, she saw him. Every time she heard a deep voice, she thought it was him. And every night, she dreamed of the way he had looked at her that night. Like she was his world. But she had made her choice. She had to live with it, even if it was killing her. One rainy evening, Harper walked out of the diner, pulling her coat tighter around her. And then, she froze. Because standing there, soaked from the rain, was Alexander. Her breath caught. He had found her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then he took a step forward. "You left," he said, his voice hoarse. Tears burned her eyes. "I had to." His jaw clenched. "No, you didn't." She shook her head. "I'm not strong enough for this, Alexander." He took another step. "Then let me be strong for both of us." Her chest ached. She wanted to believe him. But could love really survive in a world that was determined to tear them apart? Before she could answer, he did something that shattered all her walls. He dropped to his knees in the rain. "I love you, Harper," he whispered. "And I don't care what the world thinks. Just tell me, do you love me too?" Her heart stopped, because for the first time she knew the answer. And this time she wouldn't run. Harper stood frozen, her breath catching as Alexander knelt before her in the rain. His hair was drenched, his expensive suit clinging to him, but his eyes held nothing but raw, unshaken love. "I love you, Harper," he repeated, voice thick with emotion. "And I don't care about the headlines, the whispers, or my father. I care about you." Tears welled in her eyes. This was the man she had tried to leave behind. The man she had convinced herself she wasn't strong enough to love. But she had been wrong. Because loving him wasn't her weakness. It was her strength. She took a shaky step forward. "I love you too, Alexander," she whispered. "But love alone won't change the world we live in." His jaw clenched. "Then I'll change it for you." A broken laugh escaped her. "You can't just snap your fingers and make everything okay." "No," he admitted, rising to his feet. "But I can fight for us." And in that moment she knew. He wasn't going to let her go. The next morning, Harper woke up in Alexander's penthouse. For the first time in weeks she felt safe. But the peace didn't last long. Because when she turned on her phone, her stomach dropped. The headlines were worse than ever. "Mysterious woman runs away after scandal. Is she hiding something? Harper Evans, a gold digger or a victim? Sources say Billionaire's father wants her gone." She sucked in a breath, her hands shaking. Alexander walked in, shirtless, a cup of coffee in hand. "What's wrong?" She handed him the phone. His expression darkened. "Enough," he muttered, grabbing his own phone. "What are you doing?" she asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he dialed a number. The moment the call connected, his voice was ice. "Set up a press conference. I'm ending this today." The world watched as Alexander Reed stood before a sea of reporters. Harper sat backstage, her heart pounding. She hadn't wanted this. She had begged him not to do it. But he had refused to let her be painted as a villain. So now here they were. Alexander adjusted the mic. His expression unreadable. "I'm here to set the record straight," he said firmly. "The woman you've all been speculating about, Harper Evans, is not a gold digger, not a scandal, and not someone I will allow to be harassed any longer." Murmurs filled the room. "She is the woman I love." Gasps rippled through the crowd. "I won't stand by while she is torn apart for something as simple as falling in love with me." A reporter raised a hand. "But your father." "My father does not control my life," Alexander cut in sharply. "He tried to interfere, and I won't deny it. But his power ends here." The room exploded with questions. But Alexander wasn't done. "I don't care what you write about me," he said. "But Harper is off limits. If anyone continues to harass her, I will take legal action." Harper's breath hitched. He had just declared war against his own world. And he had done it for her. The press conference changed everything. Some reporters backed off. Some didn't. But the biggest shock came when Richard Reed, Alexander's father, stepped down from his company. The world speculated that his own son had pushed him out. And maybe they were right. One thing was certain, though. Alexander had chosen Harper. And he had risked everything to do it. A month later, Harper stood on a rooftop, watching the city lights flicker below. Strong arms wrapped around her from behind. Alexander pressed a kiss to her temple. "Are you happy?" She turned in his arms, looking up at him. "I didn't think I could be. But," she smiled softly, "but you proved me wrong." His fingers tilted her chin up. "I'll keep proving it every day." She sighed, sinking into his embrace. "I don't need the world to approve of us." His lips brushed against hers. "Good. Because the only approval I ever needed was yours." And as they kissed under the stars, Harper knew. They had won. Love had won. And nothing could ever take that away.